One of the reasons that we're not seeing the younger consumers stepping into traditional component audio is because of that complexity. And so one of the first things that we did, you heard Dave speak about it last night, is we did an amazing amount of research, and we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on doing research into how do people use the electronics that are in their homes? How do they live with this technology? How do they use the remote controls? How do they use apps? How do they want the products to be positioned in their space? What should they look like? And so we're going to give you some insights into all that today. But as you saw last night, taking a different approach to this, a simplicity mantra was key. And again, all based on the research of how people want to use things. So we found out they don't want complex remotes. They don't want all this feature capabilities that they don't know what they are. We are the experts. Tell me what I need and how should it operate. So that's what you'll see in the products. And as we talked about earlier on there, even with the remote controls on the AVR, right? This is not your traditional AVR remote by any means, right? So if we're all familiar with what would require two hands to hold in a traditional AVR remote, I can turn it off and on. I can change the volume. I can change the input. And if I need to or want to, I could change the surround mode. But that's pretty much it. That's all anybody really wants or needs to do. What we want to do is get you to entertainment as quickly as possible. So the simplicity went to that. It went to the front panels of the units. Minimal number of controls on the front of the products. Same basic functionality that can be done from the front of the unit. Change the input, change the volume. That's mostly what you're going to want to do on it. We want to watch movies. We want to play games. We want to listen to music. So that approach was all fed by that research of what we did. That also led into why the products look the way that they look. So they look very different. We're showing you the darker finish in this room because we've got a nice darkened theater room here, but you saw all of the lighter finishes available last night. I can't think of a white AVR necessarily on the market right now, so that's obviously a different look. And the products with the large full color displays on it, not something typically found on an AVR product. So again, a very different approach. Very much Harman's science-based research that went into the performance. Performance is here. We mentioned for some of the car people last night, this is a bit like, there's no point talking about specs because it doesn't matter to this customer. So this is someone that's coming up from likely a JBL product and knows and trusts our brand. They're not looking for specs so much, they're just looking for performance, and they trust that we as JBL are going to deliver that performance to them. So much like as a Rolls-Royce used to say, the horsepower was adequate. So if we focus on specs, that's really just going to be a turnoff because that intimidation factor is what's prevented people from getting into component audio. They're not interested in the complexities of what component goes with what. And I don't know what these speakers are. I don't know how to connect them. I don't know what cables I need. I don't know how to configure the AVR once it's set up. So to try to remove as much intimidation factor as possible is what we wanted to do with the products. So, customer types. As we looked into this research, we identified three primary customer types that we knew we wanted to target for this product family. So, the first one was soundbar alternative. And as I mentioned, this is something where we have tremendous market share in portable Bluetooth speakers. You heard Dave speaking about last night, we sold over 100 million portable Bluetooth speakers under the JBL brand. Headphones, where we sold 200 million headphones under the JBL brand. And our party box category, these are products that the younger Gen Zs and millennials know, they love, they trust our brand. And now as they've gone out to get their own places, they've maybe graduated up to a sound bar and likely a JBL sound bar in that space as well. But where do they go from there? So what we wanted to do was to keep them on our JBL brand as their audio journey begins into component audio. So what they really want is higher performance. And that's what we can do with this product family. And that could begin as something as simple as a 2-channel system with a receiver like you heard in the Vinyl Lounge last night. And then of course they could build up from there. So that soundbar alternative there was the first customer. It needed to have the same simplicity as a soundbar. One of the things people like about soundbars is they're easy. I can connect them and there's not much to operate. But as we were doing the research, and certainly during the pandemic, we saw that in a lot of cases, the soundbar is the only audio system that they had. So they were using it to listen to music when the TV wasn't even on. So that was not a great experience. They're looking for better performance. Where can I go? So we want to capture that customer that's looking to upgrade from a sound bar. Second customer that we want to look into was what we called hi-fi curious. And this is someone that loves music already. They're getting into it more and more. They may be into streaming, and as we know, physical formats are coming back. So vinyl continues to be very popular, but even compact discs that are popular. And for those that haven't been to the Asian markets lately, cassettes are coming back as well too. But that idea of physical media is really taking off with the younger generations. For those of us that grew up with it, it's kind of this nostalgia thing. But for those that didn't, that grew up with files, the actual ritual of listening to something that was a mechanical disc on a mechanical player, I have to interact with it and do it. There's a romance to that. And it takes it out of just being a commodity into an experience. And as we all grew up and listened, it's like, well, who recorded this album? Who played on it? Where was it recorded? The liner notes, the artwork that's on the gatefold. Those are the kind of things that are cool. So those are people that now that want to get in and experience music more and more. Maybe they've got a growing vinyl collection. Maybe they're doing streaming from Tidal, Koba, Spotify, whoever it may be. So we wanted to appeal to that customer and give them an opportunity to have a high performance audio system, again, without the intimidation factor, but also make it very affordable and very attainable. So if you were in the vinyl lounge yesterday, you got to see a little bit of that. That was a $399 pair of bookshelf loudspeakers. In that case, it was a $799 AVR, but we could do it as low as a $399 AVR. So basically for $800, I could be into a nice hi-fi system. So that's a customer that we wanted to talk about as well. And then the third one is the performance player. So for somebody that maybe is a little more into this and does want to get into an immersive audio system, they want to have a high performance Dolby Atmos system in their home. That's a customer that we wanted to address. So as you've seen in our AVR range, we have 5 models that will go up in all the way up into the HP models, which start to blur into the more traditional kind of CI space. And then the performance of the loudspeakers and the configurations that we can do in the Stage 2 systems allow us to get into full-blown systems. We could do 7.2 or 5.4 channel systems for a Dolby Atmos immersive audio experience. And in that case, you'll see today, we even have architectural in-wall and in-ceiling speakers that match this product range. So the 8 speakers that you see in the box line, plus there's 8 more in-wall and in-ceiling speakers. And you'll get a little flavor of that while you're here today. So that's for someone that wants to punch up into even higher performance.